It's a phenomenon. Young living legends on the track. On a mission, put the nation on the map. Worldwide recognition, let them know this shit's slapper. Oh, we about to make it mad. Nairobi city on my back. Taking back the throne, bring it back to the motherland. Ni mama y'all, mama dads in the trap. And a couple sick girls in the pack. And I know some bad boys from the hood. Rest in peace, Andre, that's a real cool dude. To all the real ones we lost along the way. And though it pains us to watch you fly away, but we'll never lose, yeah. See the sun still shines in the heavy rain. You need to slow your mind, meditate. Garden daisy sing, growing in the rubble. Roses raised up in the concrete jungle life,
It's not always what it's painted out to be. Stick around long enough to see, Young living legends on the track. On a mission, put the nation on the map. City on my back, and I can handle that. It's crazy how I'm made for this, I won't fall back. I'm a phenomenal queen, repping the Nairobi scene. Yeah, I'm all that, yeah. And I know how to chase a dream. I'll be saying what I mean, never off track, yeah. And for the ones we've lost, there's not a day, not two, that the clock can turn and we don't think of you. But we holding on, steady going strong. Yeah, we carry on. We wanna belong. It's not always what it's painted out to be. Yeah, I hope you stick around long enough to see it. Yeah. It's not always what it's painted out to be. Yeah, it's not. Hope you stick around long enough to see.
Yeah. No. Mama y'all, mama dads in the trap. Yeah.
You're now live on the stage with Sandra Bartonjo.
Umetuma wazazi wako waje wanieleze. Umetuma wazazi wako waje wanieleze. Unitaki tena na mashoga zako waje waniambie. Na mashoga zako waje waniambie. Ndoa tumeivunja. Siamini kuna time singeishi bila wewe. Mapenzi ya kukata na shoka yashamwagika yazoleki haya basi nenda lote mama. Nenda lote mama. Penzi unaenda nilikuenzi kinoma noma yashamwagika yazoleki haya nenda lote mama. Ukatuma loya wako ate anisome. Ukatuma loya wako ate anisome. Kuwa watoto ulonizalia Kuwa watoto ulonizalia sitawaona tena. kanisani kwa chanda na pete, jasha mwagika yazolekia yao, nenda lote mama, nenda lote mama. Penzi unaenda penzi kinoma noma, jasha mwagika yazolekia yao, nenda lote mama. Ukatuma pasta wako aje anikeme, ukatuma pasta wako aje anikeme mama, na madeni zangu kazitangaza na madeni zangu kazitangaza mitandaoni. Shemeji zangu ndugu zako tukionana, wambie sisi bado rafiki wasinipite barabarani mama umeenda lote mama, umeenda lote mama. Penzi unaenda penzi kinoma noma, jasha mwagika yazolekia yao, basi nenda lote mama, nenda lote mama. Penzi unaenda penzi kinoma noma, jasha mwagika yazolekia yao, nenda lote mama, mama, nenda lote mama.
You're now live on the stage with Sandra Bartonjo.
Inao ni ya kufunga mwaka.
Suda.
So fresh is on the beat.
I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas and a high New Year. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas and a high New Year. Hey, 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 umekuki hala with hey, hey, hey. I hope you know today is your lucky day. Tunazichoma mpaka che. Oh yeah, if you wanna come my way, come through with your JAs. Nataka tuzi sample na wewe, mapedi wamekuja na zingine. Oh yeah, who wants to be alone? Who wants to be home? The Christmas huwezi postpone. Oh no, if you wanna let go, get on my level, tupandishane tempo. But before everything, I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas and a high New Year.
Once again,
I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas and a high New Year. Hii miezi ni ya kutembea na laita, hii miezi ni ya kusele all nighter. Kudunga dress iko tighter. Jishepu si ya kawaida. Haga bomb kwanza kicheza Al-Qaeda. Unataka nini? I'm your provider. Uspende vitu za outsiders. Wengi wao ni mahainas. Kutembea bila dawa. Kunipata nimelala. Kunikosa kwa chain, kunikosa kwa main event. Ooh yeah. Kunipata sijangara. Tuko Peru, uko para. Kunikosa again, tanipata sherehe Soul Fest. Oh yeah. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. Yes I do. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas and a high New Year. Oh, I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. Once again, my love. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. Oh no, no, no. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas and a high New Year. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Bakisha kitu Januari inabisha. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Usinya sana mwaka ushinde kuvuka. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Wale wakume kitu na wakumbuka. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. Okay. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas and a high New Year. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas. I wish you a Merry Jane Christmas and a high.
What do you do, everybody? Karibuni, you're on the stage with Sandra and the legendary, and I'm going to say legendary because you've got to give people their flowers when they're still here. This nonsense of waiting for people to be 6 feet under to start saying, oh my God, I remember the time when he did. I beg. We've got fully focused in the building. No, imagine that, as in those are, bruh, it's Friday, okay? Guys have been traumatizing for since day 1 of December. We're not going to go with that. Can you please just say something?
Hello.
What it do, Baba? Karibu, man. Karibu. You're on the stage on Icon Radio.
I love it.
Now, in order for me to get paid my salary, I have to let everybody know that officially on the 17th of December, Icon Radio is turning 1. I can't believe I've been doing this for a year solidly. I'm like, what? So we're turning 1. We've got a big bash happening at End Zone Grill in, is it Parklands Road, Parklands, Westlands? Anyway, moral of the story is it's on Google Maps. That's the basic solution to this problem. Icon Radio turns 1. The whole team is going to be in the building. Our 2 DJs, Akina, the producers over here, Akina Kevo with their cameras and everything. Tutakuwa bash top tier to celebrate the Icon family for turning a year old, surviving the tough times that is digital radio, because apparently we are pioneering something that has not pioneered yet. But here we are. Now, back to the point of today. So, Baba, let me tell you. Last week, Thursday, you launched a very, very, very epic album titled The African Ambassador.
Yes.
By Fully Focus.
Yes.
Featuring, okay, let me try and remember those. Liberia, Cape Verde, SA, Nigeria, Kenya, Zambia, Congo. I feel like I'm forgetting one place. Tanzania, obviously, yes. Also, can I just say, Vanessa Mdee is on the album. Yeah. People said she was out. Yes. Until I saw her picture on the screen, and I was like, hold up. This Chile said she's not singing anymore, but she sang for you.
Yes.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
First of all, your memory is really good because you got the countries right.
Right?
And everything. I think Rwanda was the only one that was
Rwanda,
there.
So 9
and
or 10.
Zambia.
I said Zambia.
Okay, so yeah.
I was on it. So it's 9 countries.
Yes.
You have 9 artists from 9 different African countries featuring on the album.
Yes.
Bro.
Yes.
Let me tell you, I went on Instagram the next day. Okay, so I've annoyed a lot of people because me, I have 0 breaks.
Yes, 0.
And I'll just say it. If you catch feelings there, I'm like, cool, man. You don't pay my bills though. Yeah. So I was like, this is the first time where I've seen an artist title something and it actually reflects what they've said. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because you have there's some people who call themselves ambassadors or pioneers of African music, but are very limited in what they do. Absolutely. So for you to feature 9 countries from this continent on this album, that title is correct. You know what I mean? I was like 100%. Sure. First of all, I was like, Cape Verde. I was like, bro, right. As in, at what time? I even forgotten that even exists. I was like, oh my goodness, that's. I was like, yeah. Well done.
Thank you so much. You know, the thing about it is, you know, Africa has been the last continent enjoying mainstream success in terms of entertainment, but we to the outside world, we've always been Africa. Like when you watch a movie and they're like, oh, we went all over the world. We went to London and Tokyo and New York and Africa.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's like, listen, no, where in Africa did you go?
Exactly. So even when we're talking about African music in general, same thing right now. As things that doors are opening, it hasn't been fully all of Africa.
Agreed.
You know, it's been very limited to one or two countries.
Agreed.
And so I was very intentional about opening up this conversation and understanding that, look, you can't get everything at the same time. It's 54 countries. It's impossible. It's impossible. But and also the flow, it has to flow right. The sounds have to be and everything. So that's why it took, first of all, a while. It took 4 years to put this project together. You know, constantly, you know, touring and building relationships and everything. So, you know, I'm very happy about how the whole project came together. Yeah.
So are we. Like let me tell you, at the launch, I was like, okay, you know, usually when artists do an album launch or like a listening party or whatever, you'll always come out of them and be like, okay, 2 great songs, love it, and you're like, yes, especially like the 1-2 singles already pre-released, you're like, yes. You're like, these are the ones, and those are the ones people normally anticipate and wait for.
Absolutely.
What surprised me and what made me really excited was, outside of the songs we already know, with Dimension, with which we'll chop about that later, Dimension, Sababu, and everything. What surprised me with that night is a lot of people had a shock moment. Because they thought, those are the only 2 songs that are going to be bangers. And at the end of the night, I remember even some of my friends who had invited and stuff literally messaging me saying, sis. And I'm like, I was like, I'm like, this didn't just happen until last night. He just decided, I'm just going to, you know what I mean? Like, those are it's for you to even say it took you 4 years to put this together. Is a testament of why this album is that album. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because there's actually time and effort you put in to make it what it has turned out to be. Absolutely. And I'm sure even you're seeing the responses right now and you're like, whoa!
The feedback has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And just like you say, everybody's kind of like surprised. Like, wait, like that number of songs that are actually banging.
Do you get what I mean? Like it's back to back. I was like, hold up.
Yeah, it's not making sense.
Nah, I love it. And also like the fact that you gave the African sound in terms of we're not limited. Because right now the whole world is convinced.
Yes.
The only country that produces music is either Nigeria or South Africa. And even with South Africa, it's by proxy of Nigeria. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, you understand? So it was so epic to be able to experience, you know, Kizomba on this side, to be able to do Afrobeats on this side, to be able to do our piano on this side, to be able to do our terminology of the Kenyan sound, whatever that may be. You know what I mean? And I think that was so important because it's going to allow people to understand we're not limited to these 2 genres.
And that is 100% the whole objective of this project.
Okay.
You know, like I've said before, I spent the last decade really, really trying to get Afrobeats, you know, to be heard in the mainstream, and to as now the doors have been opening, I'm like, no, people need to understand that there's so much more talent and diversity across the continent. And so, you know, even with the selection of every artist who was to be on, the kinds of sounds and everything, was very intentional about it. And the thing about, you have to understand, as an independent artist, producer, a new artist, I understood that what happens with albums is you release an album, you make like a lot of noise with a single or 2, and then you release an album, but rarely do albums last.
100%.
Right? So it's
100%.
like you make noise, whatever it is, everybody swarms it, and then whatever. But I wanted to create something that will last. Like it will stand the test of time.
Agreed.
And it will keep growing and going and going and going. That's why I don't mind starting from scratch with 0, like very slow and everything, because I know that once you make something that is of quality and something that has a lot of meaning, it'll stand the test of time.
100%.
And that's the goal with this project. And my hope and my prayer is that it becomes the thing that decades from now, years from now, people will be like, this was one of, if not the project that broadened the conversation about African music. That's it. Because you have to realize, when people hear, we know Bien, we're all fans of Bien here, but there's a lot of people out there who don't know him.
Agreed.
But when they hear his music, when they hear his voice and everything, my hope is that they're like, Kenya, what else is in Kenya? Who else is in Kenya? And now it starts opening up the doors for other artists who are here to get discovered in places that they were never going to get played before.
Agreed.
Same thing for Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and all these different places.
No, it's incredible. And it's so like it's such an it's a really like, let me tell you, at some point I know everyone was like, "Hi, Sandra, you're being a bit of a groupie." You know what I mean? Because I was going, like, I literally, even until now, I think most of my posts I tag some of the songs from the album, because I'm like, it's lit. And people, I think, are genuinely convinced it's just out of like, Sas, relax, bro. Like, are you being a groupie? Are you shooting
Let
your
them
shots?
listen to
like
it.
Tulia. But in my mind, I'm like, no, you guys, you really need to listen, because this is something quite monumental that Focus has put together, because it's doing something for this music industry, in terms of African music industry, that as much as, yes, we've got all, the accolades are coming in, and the artists who are breaking the barriers and knocking down the doors prior to the old white men sitting in boardrooms determining, whether our music makes sense or not. We're breaking those barriers, and it's great, but it's only a select few. So I'm like, but for me, what this album is doing is it's allowing for that many other artists to have an opportunity to be heard. You understand? So I'm like, and the sooner people understand that, the better. So I'm like, so the best way for me to do it is, I'm just gonna keep insisting on, go listen to this album, listen to it by force, all my posts.
And let me say, I really appreciate that, because it's very rare to find people who are like, I am writing for this, not because anybody else is on.
Yes.
Because I know that's what most people do. Most people want
the wave.
They want a bandwagon. When something is popular to support, that's what they'll jump on. But I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who see it and make their own, independent decision. Because even for me, every artist I've ever built a relationship with was because I was like, yo, this artist has potential. This what's this kid? Wizkid? I think he has potential. Let's try and do something with him.
100%.
Before it was convenient. See, it's easy right now to support Wizkid. It's easy to support Burna Boy. But at the beginning stages, when
that wasn't the case.
One else was, or not as many people were jumping on,
100%.
That's the time to support that person, because they'll never forget that. Same
100%.
thing with everybody I've worked with over the years. It's the same thing, So I really appreciate that, and I hope that we do have more people who are curious about it and be like, okay, let me listen to it. Judge for yourself.
Agreed.
Judge for yourself.
Yeah.
Not everybody will fall in love with it, but I think that when you listen to it and you compare it to other projects that you listen to, there's like almost everyone I've spoken to has at least 2 or 3 songs that are like, these are my songs.
They're like, it's in their heart. What
I love about it is it's not the same 2 songs.
Yes.
You see, so that broadens the reach. It broadens and it tells that the album is well balanced to where there's different songs for different moods and different occasions and different feelings, to where you can be able to enjoy it at different times of your life.
No, 100%. And that for me has been the exciting part for African Ambassador. I was like, yes. Focus understood every assignment. You know what I mean? I'm like, you got it.
Thank you.
Now, okay, personally, but this is for very personal reasons, and you understand. So just allow it, fam.
Go ahead.
So, Levis, let me tell you, I think a lot of artists have been trying, and I know this because of numerous conversations I've seen, numerous back and forth of people trying to plug into him as an artist, and in his music, from collabos, like people have reeling and honored.
Wow.
So when I saw, I was like, hold on, did Focus just do a feature? I was like, hold up. No, because I'm telling you this because I've had phone calls from artists who are ideally top 10 on this continent. Sandra, please, can you get us a link? And I was like, listen, you guys, this guy, the way he is as a person, he literally is one of those people who just doesn't work with anybody.
That's true.
And if he's not catching the vibes, he is not catching the vibes.
True.
Because in any interaction I've ever had, even just on email interaction, I was like, this is not that guy. I'm like, this is definitely not DJ Khaled. He's not interested and he won't be.
For sure.
And once he listens to like one or two of your songs, then he's like, nah, that's it. So to have gotten your Levis to be like, Focus is the guy. I was telling people, I was like, you guys, you need to really pay attention to something like that. Because for me, that screams volumes. You know what I mean? Because it means you as an artist, because now ideally you are in the artist category, you understand? It means you as an artist, you are impactful. You understand? In that, for somebody like Levis to say, I can do this. That's saying a lot. Because you can get, and like Burner would have, like, you pay them the right fee, they'll do it. You understand?
Sure. Yeah, there are artists who are very, very strict.
Yes.
About who they work with, and you're right. You're 100% right.
Yep.
He's very
like he doesn't play.
Yeah,
he's like, I will see.
Yeah,
like, nah, this doesn't work for me.
You know, the funny thing, Sandra, is it goes back to what I was talking about. There's not a single artist who's on this project I've had to pay to be on.
That's what I'm saying. It says a lot,
and it's 100%. You see, because people work with people who they believe in,
100%.
And when I was doing all the Major Lazer mixtapes, one of the things I was very intentional.
First of all, did you all catch that? He said Major Lazer, okay, not your auntie.
you know, I'm very grateful for how that situation, came about, which we can talk about in depth.
Yeah.
But when I was doing all those mixtapes, rather than just looking at the top 20 Afrobeat songs that are popping and just putting it on, I was doing a lot of research over the years.
Okay.
What's going on in Congo? What's going on in this country? In Central Africa, and East Africa, and Southern Africa, and everything.
Yeah.
For leading to this point, right? So that I wanted to paint a broader picture of Africa.
Yeah.
And so I would break artists. Even Gengetone. I had Gengetone on those Major Lazer mixtapes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And so Yalavis was one of those artists whose music I put on. And as I put these mixes out, I would tag these artists and I'd be like, hey, I love your song, and I put it on this tape and everything. And people appreciate that so much because they understand the meaning of that, right? To be able to put them on a platform that will access a mainstream audience and an audience that probably was never going to discover them anyway. So they appreciate that, and then that relationship builds. The reason why that's important is because oftentimes people will DM me, and be like, yo, give me this, help me with this. No, I always tell people, lead with giving first before you ask, right? And that's how you build relationships. Don't go there with give me, help me, right? Build a relationship by giving value. And that's what I've done throughout. That's my theme throughout all the time. And it's helped me get, great relationships, so that by the time I'm doing my stuff and I'm reaching out to someone, they're more receptive. They're more receptive because they're like, you were supporting me and believing me before
prior
it was
to the hype.
Prior to the hype.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. So that's kind of how that relationship came on board. But also, because this project has taken a while, there's songs I did. This is the second song I'm actually doing with Yalavis.
Lies you tell.
Listen.
Ha!
That we already had done 3 years ago, but he, right before COVID. We're doing it. It was coming cool. I liked it, but again, he was like, "Nope, I don't like it."
He was like, "Nah, he's like, I'm not doing this." Yeah.
And same thing with Niniola. This is the second song I'm doing with her. There's another one we had done. It was complete, but she wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Time passes because also sounds are changing so much,
100%,
and you have to keep up with
100%
and everything. And I'll be honest with you, there's lots of other artists who were on this project who had done songs with, and later on, because it was like 2 years, or they're like, nah. Sounds have changed, so let's drop it. I tried to do other things with them. It didn't work out, so hopefully maybe moving forward we can be able to do on the next project. So yeah, it's been a very interesting journey and process to
I can imagine
go through it. Yeah,
but has it at least allowed you, because obviously you loved the artist prior to them doing this album.
Yeah.
Now working one-on-one and having those back and forths and change this, put this beat over here, do this, let's do this. Do you at least now have the respect level has gone a notch higher?
Yeah.
In terms of understanding by the time they put out a song.
Oh my goodness.
The legwork they've gone through.
Oh my goodness. That has been the biggest thing. I keep saying this all the time. The thing about the thing I'm loving the most is the growth process. Because you have to understand, in the world of elevation, what is the ceiling on one level becomes the floor on the next level.
Facts.
You master one thing, but when you go to a new room, you have to be willing to be a student.
Yeah.
And I had to be a student again. It's like, I'm not the big boss here. As in the DJ world, right? So it's like, okay, or partly even in the events world. But it's like, because I had to be a student again, now a lot of things I had to be open to be like, oh, this is how it works and this is how it goes and everything. And one of the things I had to do was surround myself with people who already experience, collaborating with different producers, collaborating with songwriters and everything. And I'm learning. And then everybody's process is different.
Facts.
Some people, send me the beat, you won't hear back from me
like,
for how long,
and then you'll just send a song back and you're like, cool.
And then some is like, okay, how do I go about this? What do I do about this?
Yeah.
And giving guidance and everything.
Yeah.
It's like Vanessa Day. It was I'd sent actually that song was a while back, but what I told her was, because I wanted a song that properly represented East Africa, with a prominent Kenyan artist, a Ugandan artist, and a Tanzanian, all of them prominent. And so Nyash killed it. Absolutely
He killed it.
Sent it to Fik for Micah, also murdered it.
Yeah.
By the time I was sending it to Vanessa, I was like, I don't want you to sing on this. I want you to kind of like flow, like kind of rap or whatever, kind of thing, or whatever it is, and talk your ish. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Talk your ish and everything. She's like, cool. And she went and she murdered it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, and I learned, same thing with Shoma Josie. It was like a little guidance here and everything. And so every artist is different. Then there's some who are like, actually, I don't even like what you've sent me. Here's what I'm sending you. Right? And everything.
They're like, thanks for the input,
right?
but nah.
And I'm like, and again, you have to check your ego.
And
be like, you know what? I'm learning here. Yes, I have ideas. Yes, I have some skill sets, but I'm open to learning and being like, okay, this makes sense. But also, I have to let my identity still be in it. Be like, no, I think this would work better if we do this, if we do this, if we do that. So it's been a very interesting
That's
process.
very rare, because most, and I'm going to say producer, most producers, and we all know, especially within the 254 in this industry, we're, especially even right now, we're at a place where the producer's sound and tagline, you don't even necessarily care about the artist, to be fair. And it's purely because we've gotten to the place where the producer's like, Simi don't make beats, so I'm the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you to be able to openly say, yes, I had to become a student for most of this work, is really impressive, because a lot of people are not willing to learn nothing more. Like, once a guy has produced a song and he has hit his 1 million views on YouTube, he's like, you're telling me nothing.
Well, ego is the enemy, and you have to remember that you're only as good as your last hit, right?
Facts.
And it's a very competitive industry to where no matter how big of a song you have, in a few, I don't know, weeks, months, people have already forgotten and moved on. The amount of consumption of music that's there, it's insane right now.
Facts.
Which I believe is actually what is hurting the industry, right?
100%.
I don't think it's an issue of sound, because everybody's like, oh, what is our sound? I don't think it's an issue of that, because we've had Kapuka, we've had Genge, we've had Genge Tone and everything. It's not about us having our own sound. It's about the work ethic.
Yes.
It's to understand that, you see, 20 years ago, you could tell the audience this is great music, because all the music they were consuming was from radio and TV, local radio and TV. So the local radio and TV is controlling what the ears of the consumer.
100%.
Now, the consumer listens to everything globally, and especially from the West and the Central and the South and everything. And now they get to decide for themselves. They get to hear what is great high quality music, and whether you like it or not, they're going to compare your stuff to it.
100%.
Whether you like it or not. The mind you can't 100%. Tell the mind, no, this is for this and this is for that.
It's like, no, but I like this. Right. So yours doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So that's the first thing. So our kind of work has to be more, quality. Right?
Agreed.
We have to match that level.
Agreed.
Then we're now also battling the fact that you have countries that are putting out, 20 artists a day. Or a week or something.
I literally said this last night. I was like, Nigeria produces artists like snacks.
It's insane.
Like, I'm telling you, it is like literally for every household, I think there's 3 artists.
Oh my God.
Do you understand? By default.
It's insane.
By actual default.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know whether it's in the catfish they eat or the jollof rice. Everybody can sing in Nigeria. I'm like, what's up, man?
And I'm saying, like, kudos to them and everything, but we have to understand that, look at Amapiano. The only way Amapiano penetrated is by the volume of
100%,
music that they put out. It wasn't there's 2-3 big Amapiano songs or whatever it is. It was like back to back to back to back, and it's been like that for the last 2-3 years. We 100%. Have to understand that it's about volume. It's about volume, but with the same kind of vibe. Because it's like we have a gift and curse. We're too diverse.
Not we're too diverse.
It's a gift and a curse, and I'm telling you.
No facts.
Yeah, because
it's facts. It's like no one has ever explained it that well. I'm like, yep, that's an actual fact.
So it's like, it's great because we're very open to different cultures.
Yes.
But it hurts us because
we're too open to different cultures.
These ones want to be rappers,
yeah,
right? And
then we've got reggae.
Then you have reggae. Then you have this.
Neo soul. It's like, bro,
soul. Like you have a lot of that. So what it does, it slims down the amount of volume of records that would come out, which would be the main sound that would penetrate the most.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you have to understand this, and I'm sure you know this as much as I do. When people outside of Kenya or outside the Africa are looking for music from Kenya, the truth is they're not looking for rappers.
100%.
The truth is they're not looking
100%.
for neo soul, because guess what? Coming from America,
they've got that covered. And then
friend,
some.
Let me tell you, half of the clubs is artists. You see what I'm saying? People will come and be like, here's my demo, here's or whatever it is. And they can sing and rap proper talent. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So before they start looking at you
elsewhere,
coming here to, they're not going to.
Yeah.
And again, you have to ride the wave. Don't fight it. If all the biggest artists in the world, Beyonce, Drake, Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, Suji, who everybody is trying to do African music, why are you fighting it?
Yeah. I agree.
Flow with it.
I
Take
agree.
advantage of it.
I agree.
Position yourself.
Yeah.
And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And cultures outside, sometimes we forget our own identity. So anyway, so that lessens the amount of music that is penetrating. Whereas specifically with South Africa and Nigeria, they have honed their own African sound and concentrated on this is what we're pushing, and that is what you see the penetration is about.
But even what you're saying in terms of volume, because Vigro was here in October, and we were out, and so naturally, Kenyan DJs, classic, they think they know every Amapiano song. So now because Vigro is in the building,
we do that.
And the guy was on his phone, so me I go to him, I'm like, Baba, listen, I think this DJ is playing for you, kindly please. And he goes to me, but brah, first of all, Vigro is like 20 years old or 19. So for him to turn around and tell you, bro, these songs are so old. And for us, they're the hit now. He's like, my guy, this song is like a year and a half old. So from back home, the song that we are losing our minds about in the club. A year and a half old in SA. So he was not vibing because he was like, but you guys are playing. It's almost like we're playing for him, Cool and the Gang. You know what I mean? He was like,
absolutely. Because the amount of,
do you get what I'm trying to say? So I really agree with that. But also, focus, let me just say, I also tell people a lot of the time, it's also for me a big numbers game. When this whole Play KE music movement started, I was like, great initiative. I understand the purpose. I get it. But I was like, you guys, unfortunately, Nigeria alone, we're looking at about 230 million people.